Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we are back here with Just Bad Games with another old one. So yeah, it's not a new episode, but it's just taking a look back. Today it's Gundam 0079, The War for Earth. So yeah, it's a Gundam game, so this is gonna be interesting. I wonder how bad it is that it's here, so how about we just hop in and learn more about this game. Curious about the Lost Gundam games, so let's see. Be sure to like, subscribe for more, hope you enjoy, and here we go.
Gundam 0079, The War for Earth is a video game released by Presto Studios and Bandai Digital Entertainment for the PC, PlayStation, and Apple Pippin in 1996 and 1997.
The game is part of the ever-popular Gundam franchise that started as an anime series back in, 1979.
Over 4 decades of giant robot adventures. That's gotta be canonically dense. Luckily, the two of us know a guy who can lay down some serious anime knowledge in a short amount of time. Tristan from Glass Reflection. Buddy, you've got the floor.
Yeah, great. Gundam is a topic that I can literally talk about for hours. How long do I got?
About a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, get going.
Okay, so Gundam, Crash Course. Yes, originally the franchise started in 1979 with the original Mobile Suit Gundam, and there have been countless media releases for the series since then, not to mention an even longer list of written work in the form of manga and novels. As such, in Japan, Gundam's influence stretches far and wide, having been one of the forefathers of the mecha animated genre and the originator of what is known as the real robot subgenre. See, mecha narratives prior to Gundam focused heavily on superhero-like narrative tropes, where the robots were used by pilots to combat evil, such as in Mazinger, or if you're more familiar with the property, Super Sentai and its North American equivalent, the Power Rangers.
We know the Power Rangers.
Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue on the Nintendo 64.
I don't remember if I did that one.
7-oop!
Boop, 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 boop. Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, what Gundam provided that was different from its robot forebearers was a darker, more narrative-driven tale with technology at the forefront. The mecha suits used in Gundam, while somewhat fantastical compared to our technology in the real world, didn't have magical powers, but were instead just a logical progression of technology. The stories included a lot of heavy-hitting topics too, like our characters being child soldiers suffering from PTSD, the idealism of a truly pacifist nation in a world ravaged by constant violence, and even just the innate horrors of wartime. But hey, did you want some Zaku Tofu? Merchandising aside, the stories that Gundam told, while tragic and futuristic, still felt real. Like humanity could progress in technology one day far enough to soar amongst the stars, only to have the same conflicts we know today. It's what's helped keep the franchise relevant all the way to the present. Needless to say, Gundam's uniqueness added to its appeal, and it's very much a household name in Japan, much the same as Star Trek and Star Wars are here in North America. Heck, Gundam's popularity has spurred on whole secondary hobbies, and even a full-sized moving Gundam replica in Yokohama.
Woo! Thanks, Tristan. Gundam.
Yeah, though, I think if I remember correctly, didn't they take down that Gundam in Yokohama? I think it was because it was like, I don't remember. It's like, they took it down because, wasn't it because of like some energy costs or something? Hold on, I gotta look this up. Like, I remember I heard about this before. I wasn't sure why it was taken down. Like I said, I'm not too sure. Just something I heard about. I mean, I would love to visit it, but, well, like I said, I just... Let's see. Oh, here we go. One was moved. Okay, it's a hazard, the vibrations from the movements. Oh. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, considering that thing was heavy as heck. I guess it was only a matter of time before the thing just... So I guess they would like, okay, let's get it out there before it just, crashed. Fair enough. Anywho, moving along. Sorry, I just remembered it, but Anyway.
Big deal in
Hi,
Japan.
Hello Kitty.
Get it?
So what did North America think of Gundam back in '96 when this game was released?
Well, your average
Weren't you
Joe
there yet?
likely didn't think much, because it was hardly a blip on their radar.
By the mid-90s, Gundam had multiple shows and products available in Japan.
They also had
here
several video games for many platforms.
And while there were multiple Gundam-related things released, not many were
that was
officially
from
brought
Fighting
over
Gundam.
to North America.
But Presto Studios was about to change-o that.
Presto change.
Don't do that.
Because the developers of this game have one very important distinction.
They're American.
That's right. Bandai entrusted their Japan-exclusive, beloved, and downright iconic series to folks that may or may not have been the
it's
most
alive.
in the know when it came to the series.
game.
Impossible as it may seem, it happened. And boy, did it happen.
Not only would this game be the first in the series developed in North America, it would also be the very first for North Americans.
You see, in 1996, the first official English translation of a Gundam anime hadn't been released yet, meaning that this game would have been
Yeah.
the first officially released Gundam anything that North Americans could have experienced.
Well, actually, there was a cartoon pilot called Doozy Bots in the early 90s, which actually attempted to repurpose the anime SD Gundam into a Saturday morning cartoon.
No, we didn't make this up, but it being unaired and all means that nobody really saw this, besides some, unwilling TV executives.
So without much of an official Gundam presence in North America, that means that this video game would have to be many people's first entry points into the series. That's a heck of a lot of weight to put on any game developer's shoulders.
Because if we didn't properly establish it yet, did you not see the life-size moving Gundam? Here, have a picture of a train station where locals funded a Gundam statue. Official stamps, anyone?
Gundam, big deal
Big deal.
in Japan.
So how do you pay respect to this classic franchise? How do you possibly take what Gundam is and turn it into an interactive game?
Well, you should do this.
Mobile Suit Gundam is a video game released and developed by Bandai for the PlayStation in 1995.
It's a
year
fully
before.
3D mobile suit game where you pilot a giant mecha through locations with events made popular in the original animated series.
This was followed by a second game
Version
that was more of
2.0.
a remaster and upgrade called Mobile Suit Gundam version 2.0. This heavily improved almost every aspect of the original game.
While they were not the first Gundam games to offer a first-person perspective, they did establish a greater idea and understanding of what fans and gamers wanted from piloting a mobile suit.
Oh, that's right. There were 2 simulation-style Gundam games already on the market, just begging to be translated for an English-speaking audience. But were they retooled and released outside of Japan?
No! To this day, both games remain Japanese-exclusive PlayStation releases.
Okay, well, that's kinda strange, but I guess Presto
kidding.
Studios must have really wowed Bandai with an amazingly interactive game that surpassed the 2 earlier titles.
And you do realize what channel we're on, right?
I'd say it's time to jump in an experimental mobile suit and pilot our way through Gundam 0079,
The War for Earth.
The game begins with a
You know, ironically, I think I would have tried the 2.0 game. That sounds kind of fun, being able to, be Amuro and just pilot it. Which, ironically, his dad was the one that actually made the Gundam. So he would know how to pilot it. And when he's even a soldier, he just got dragged in when Zeon just invaded the colony. Yeah. Basically, the whole thing takes in space. And the colony Amuro was on was allied with the Earth Federation, not the Duchy of Zeon, so you get it, right? Sorry. It's just something I point out, but yeah. I mean, again, we are on Just Bad Games right there, so, oh boy. To think this is the first North Americans got. It's crazy how much has changed, huh? Might as well see the first landing of Gundam in North America, so let's get to the War for Earth, huh?
the video introduction that lays out the setting.
Good.
79 years have passed since crushing overpopulation drove humankind into space.
The rundown is that Earth helped
Not
launch
there
a bunch
yet,
of space
but we're
colonies
close.
into, well, space.
The intro is brief, but there is more information linked in the main menu detailing important historic events that lead to this battle. Now, why show snippets in video form of these compelling events when you can just place, I don't know, a mile of plain text to read?
The colonies and Earth eventually engaged in a full-scale war, pitting two armies against each other. The Earth Federation fighting for Earth, and the Duchy of Jean fighting for the colonies.
Right, we gotta pause here for a sec, folks. Some of you no doubt heard my colleague here say the words,
the Duchy of Jean.
Well, we're not in 1996 anymore, and nowadays everyone who knows what Gundam is would call them by another name, the Principality of Zeon.
Likely this is just a translation error and is the equivalent of pronouncing this guy's name as Master Chef.
Hey everyone, it's me, Master Chef, the iconic protagonist
Batman,
of
I hear you.
everyone's favorite interactive software disc.
Principality of Zeon.
Hello.
I guess we'll stay true to Presto Studios' naming revision here. So, good guys, Earth Federation, bad guys, Duchy of Jean. Okay. We all finally have an understanding of
What
Gundam,
if we made the translation error
Well,
there?
no. See, Gundam has kind of a complicated story with no clear identifier of good guy and bad guy. These ideas are supposed to be more ambiguous. While yes, on the surface, this is a series about teams of giant fighting robots, at its heart, Gundam has a weaving story of politics and relationships with nuance on all sides.
Are you telling me we're not off to a good start here?
Ha! Was the Hello Donut created by the Floor Runners?
Yeah, I think that means we're off to a bad start.
Okay, well, weird and strange.
I mean, he's not wrong, but I think it depends. Like, you know how the history is usually written by winners, so maybe. I mean, heck, some of the other series, like Iron Blood Orphans, the guys that we follow, well, I mean, heck, they were just minding their own business until the other guys, the Royals of Mars, well, they basically said, kick rocks, basically, and invaded. Yeah, it can get like that, I mean, heck, I think even in Gundam Wing, one of the more popular versions of Gundam, well, I said one of, not the most popular, but you get the idea, right? It's hard to tell who's really the bad guy. I mean, heck, the colonies were revolting and sent those 5, to fight Earth. And, Sax, the Gundam Espeon pilot. It is hard to tell who's really the bad guy sometimes. Though in some anime, I think you can guess. Though, again, or as heck, and you could pretty much, not sure who you could trust sometimes. Anywho, let's get back to War to Earth.
Strangely off-brand intro done. Let's get into the gameplay.
The game begins with a sequence zooming in on one of the space colonies, showing a packed street with people desperately trying to go somewhere. Amidst the crowd, a lone driver who thinks they're better than everyone else takes a detour and drives into a military base where
he hits the foot of a giant mobile suit because apparently he just didn't see the giant aggressive robot. An explosion occurs and his car is decommissioned.
Shit.
Freaked out, the driver runs to a warehouse where a soldier on a monitor implores this rando to jump into the mobile suit in the hangar.
It's a
Gundam!
A Gundam!
Crime! What? The guy gets into the mobile suit and...
It's a Gundam! Uh-oh. Oh, he's in. And we lost.
Gets destroyed. Game over.
Wow.
Okay, must have missed something there.
Yep,
were we
did.
in control? We weren't really told to do anything. Let's restart.
79 years have passed since...
Oh, cool. Looks like we have to
whole
sit through
thing
the
again?
entire opening sequence again. No
Sheesh.
skipping.
Yeah, if you fail it like we did, you'll just need to repeat it over and over again until you get it right.
Well, then I guess we best try not to screw this up again.
And here we go again. Come on.
Back to start.
79 years.
Okay, I'm thinking we need to push a button or something. Let's check out the instructions. So according to this, the game is
Attack,
controlled
defend,
entirely
interact.
by keyboard.
Arrow
That must
keys,
mean we need to
space,
push one of these
toggle.
keys at a specific moment.
Makes sense. Let's go back to the Gundam sequence.
Yeah, see? The space bar lets me change weapons, so we must be able to attack with one of these. Let's try attacking with this dagger-looking weapon.
Nope.
Nope. Dead.
No problem. Let's try this punchy fist.
No.
Jesus,
dead.
again?
Okay, maybe the Gundam's head icon thing?
It's a gun. And no.
Dead.
Again.
Oh, duh. It's gotta be the gun icon, right?
And no.
Nope.
Again.
What? That was all the attack options. There is literally no other possible way we can attack.
Let's restart again. Wait. You see that there? That icon thing? It's lit up. I think it means we need to push something.
Okay, whatever. Fine. The button is clearly an up arrow, so let's push the direction key on the keyboard.
Wait, what about the interact key? Up.
What the Gundam is going on?
Dear viewers, this whole area right here, this opening sequence, it took us over a half an hour to figure out. First off, there's this section where you can pick a weapon to attack with, and you know what? It's a no-win situation. Despite the fact that you can toggle through different weapons here, you can't actually use them. Why? Because the character we're playing as is not actually in the Gundam yet.
But why do I have access to toggle through its weapons? Why would the game let me select them at all if I was unable to use them and wasn't actually in the Gundam?
Who knows? What we do know is this. While playing the game, you'll see 4 icons at the bottom of the screen almost at all times. Now, what do you think these icons represent?
Let me
attack, defend
I
it.
can figure it out using my advanced AI companion, Frittata.
Frittata? Okay.
According to Frittata, I guess the first one is an X or something. The second one is a really speedy lightning bolt. The third one is totally a coffin. Oh, yeah, and the fourth one is one of those cool old Viking shields.
No.
Not
Blast! Frittata, Playmaster Chef is disappointed in you, Music Mix Volume 7.
Poor Frittata. So, yeah.
I love this song.
Sure, yeah, these symbols look like a bunch of weird things, but what do they actually mean? For starters, the X at the beginning
that's
is
movement.
actually 4 arrows. It represents your movement keys.
How? The keys on the keyboard look nothing like this and don't move in those directions at all.
The second one is the attack icon. The third one is the Gundam shield, and the Viking shield symbol at the end, that's actually the interact icon.
Why doesn't the shield look like the actual Gundam shield that the Gundam uses? Why couldn't they just make the icons something simple like, I don't know, the words that these things actually represent?
That would have probably made the game better. Good thing they didn't do that, huh? But now we know what we need to push. So let's go back one more time.
Okay, the button is lit up, and I push the C key, which means interact. The icon lit up, and I hit it, and...
And again. Son of a bitch.
Another major problem here, folks. Hitting the right button doesn't always work. You might be off by a couple milliseconds or the game might just not register it. So what you need to do is keep on trying until it works.
Finally! I did it!
Great. Time to get into the Gundam, which you need to do really quickly by tapping the forward key while standing in front of that chair. Because if not...
Bye-bye.
Again!
So
Okay. Really? And the fact that that doesn't really register unless you're like, come on again. Seriously. Finally. Like, seriously. Is there like a delay in there? Like, that's just my question. Like, did someone forget this? Like, how? How do you forget that? Not to mention the Duchy of Jean instead of the Principality. Ugh, Presto, what the heck happened? Like, you got the approval, make sure it works well. How do you screw this up? Anyway.
eventually you get into the Gundam and you're greeted to a boot sequence where they...
Explain what the icons mean? Why would they explain them to you after they've started showing them to you? If you didn't know what they meant, you wouldn't be able to get to where you are right now. It's madness.
It is. But after that boot screen, you can finally use your head-mounted machine guns to take out the enemy mobile suit. Let me tell you, after almost an hour of seeing the same sequence over and over again...
Yay! Finally!
This is incredibly satisfying to see.
Whew. So we get control of the Gundam. Now it seems the game's turned into a point and click type thing where... Wait.
Uh-oh.
What?
Ooh.
A brief moment while my co-pilot sorts some things out. Gundam 0079, The War for Earth, is an FMV game. FMV is short for full motion video. The concept of this was made incredibly popular by a game called Dragon's Lair, which played like a far simpler version of this. One joystick, one button. Sometimes the screen would highlight a direction that you should aim for or give you brief hints at things you're supposed to do. Dragon's Lair's execution of this style of game isn't perfect, but it worked well enough.
But what's important, what is real important to know, is that the game came out in 1983. After a decade of advanced game development, you would think, you would hope that they figured out how to make FMV games work better. But no, The War for Earth is a gigantic Gundam step backwards.
Oh, you can say that again. There's no reason why it should take us this long to get past the first 3 minutes of the game. Anyway, back to the warehouse.
So, after you start controlling the Gundam, you get to look around a full 360-degree still image. Looks kinda cool. The problem with what I did last time was that I clicked on that open door right away. Silly me. The developers expected us to know that we'd immediately get an axe to the face.
What you're supposed to do is click and drag around the outside of the door frame to look around. If you do it right, you'll find the iconic Gundam shield hanging on the wall.
Shielded up, you can now go outside and use the craptastic controls to take on the enemy mobile suit.
This is your first true battle, and it really doesn't inspire confidence in the rest. Unless you're literally told what to do, it's usually just a guessing game with deadly consequences.
Like here, we've used our beam saber, which is what I thought this weird dagger icon thing was. Anyway, we used it to slice up that enemy mech real good.
According to our sensors, thermonuclear reaction imminent.
So what do? Maybe we should run away. Let's hit the back movement key, quick.
Oh, just a step back? Whoops.
He just stepped back slightly. Why would they even animate that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what movement key you push. Nothing works. What you'll need to do is pull out that shield and hide behind it, because the shield alone is strong enough against a nuclear explosion, apparently.
So this shield is so good, in fact, that it looks practically unscathed in the next scene. That is one amazing shield.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it?
That issue we're having with not being able to know exactly what button we're supposed to push and what action we're supposed to take plagues the entire game and only gets worse. As more enemies approach, you'll come up to situations where you'll be given multiple light up icons, having you fail again and again. And despite the fact that a nuclear explosion can be survived by your shield, you'll be in situations where your shield is compromised by regular gunfire. It's completely inconsistent, each time forcing you to go back to the start of the entire game if you forgot to save in time.
Oh yeah, saving is a whole other ball of yarn as well. The game is a video and always advancing forward. You'll need to pause the game mid-video sequence to save. And when you reload, it starts at the beginning of that video sequence, even if you were several minutes into it.
So, the Gundam gets out of the explosion, avoids a couple more enemies, and meets up with White Base, a giant spaceship with a sparse crew of soldiers fighting against Jean.
Here you'll meet some important characters plucked straight from the anime, but kinda different. These characters may have had great background introductions in the show, but here they're about as flat as cardboard.
Foreshadowing.
This character, Noah, is clearly played as a mature adult here, a weathered commanding officer, but in the show, he's a 19-year-old thrust into a position of leadership. The game avoids any of that and reduces the character to, well...
I am Ensign Noah Bright, the most senior officer left aboard. During the attack, a Musai struck our bridge with a TAM missile.
Bland yogurt.
Noah goes on to explain that for some reason, only you can pilot the Gundam, and invites you to join the Earth Federation by presenting you with some wings or something.
But be quick!
Yup, if you miss the brief second to accept the wings, it triggers a fail state where you need to replay the entire 4-minute White Base video sequence again. From the start! Just look at how long they give you to actually snag the wings. That's pretty quick, and they expect you to be able to figure that out flawlessly the first time.
So, skipping along the story, the game moves away from White Base and jumps over to the evil Jean. Here we meet up with...
Honestly, the whole interact key... I mean, you could have just made like a, multi-branch like words, like with Mass Effect would do. Choose your option. Go from there. But no, it just had to be interact or you lose. Really? That's how you're gonna deal with this? Ugh, that's mean. Anyway, here comes, Xeon.
Char. Yup,
Sure.
This here is another character from the anime who looks kind of better in that show.
Yeah, long story short, he's hiding his identity. And in the original anime, this looked fine.
But in live action,
Nope.
yeah, they needed to give the actor a better costume because this looks like he ran to an arts and crafts store and grabbed some scraps
that
of
mask.
construction paper for a face mask. And don't think we didn't see the spray painted Darth Vader helmet. We noticed.
But perhaps the worst part is that in the game, they keep calling him Char. Char, like Sharona. S-H-A-R.
See that's strange because his name's actually Char.
Oh, Char was
C-H-A-R. Like Charizard.
Charizard, yeah.
And that's not all. The name of the enemy
Char.
mobile suits that the Jean use is also wrong. They're called Zaku.
Zaku
But the
here.
entirety of the game, they call them Zax.
I guess we have to
Really?
give them the benefit of the
Zaku,
doubt
Zax,
without being able to pull from an official translation. It's not like they
Really?
would have written the name properly and just misspoke the name the entire time
me
by
guess.
accident, right?
Oh, you mean
Nope.
like on Whiteface's
There.
computer terminal that correctly spells Zaku and therefore proves the developers knew that the name should actually be that, but
See,
during the entire
okay,
production
are
they
you
just happened to
serious?
get it wrong? It's maddening, especially if you're a fan of
Really?
Gundam, because you know these characters' names and what these things are and how to pronounce them properly.
Right,
not
so
cool.
back
I mean,
to the
it's not that
story.
hard.
The
Come
Gundam
on.
needs to be delivered to some place called
Jaburo.
because it's a special
Jaburo.
kind of mobile suit that is very advanced and very rare. The Earth Federation needs it. We guess to produce more of them, but just to rub it in, at no point during the entire game will the Gundam ever demonstrate why it's so advanced.
Hate to keep bringing up the show, but the Gundam from the series was made with advanced materials that made it very, very, very hard to destroy, which is never mentioned in this freaking game at all. So
Considering
you
how
as
many
the
times
pilot
it's
are
been
left in the
destroyed,
dark completely
to get
about
a,
why anyone
health
would need
bar,
this
but
thing
no,
so
just
badly.
instant
You're just
destruction.
an untrained civilian who just happened to press the right buttons. But boy, do your teammates in the Earth Federation think you're amazing anyway.
I must say, even I'm impressed. They don't teach maneuvers like that in flight training.
I can't believe how well you handled that mobile suit. You have to let me know how you made it fly so smooth.
Wow. Did they leave that in?
Next, Char, our favorite dollar store
Char.
cosplay, arrives to confront you. You get into a complicated and long fight in space filled with awkward pauses and no-win scenarios.
But unlike the start of the game where the no-win scenario could be corrected by selecting the right option, when you fight Char, you're supposed to lose.
It's one of them fail-to-win sequences that us gamer types sure do love.
In order to win, you need to lose the correct way.
Yeah, see, if you lose the fight accidentally too early, you'll lose. But if you keep the fight going far enough, you'll lose properly.
I really hate this game.
To lose properly, you need to trigger an event where Char blows up your Gundam's leg and you helplessly fall to Earth from space. Around this time, a giant laser cannon fires at White Base and they helplessly fall to Earth from space as well.
You both end up in post-apocalyptic Las Vegas.
With the Gundam's leg damaged,
Hey,
the team puts its
you're here.
torso on some tank treads. Now it's driven through the Las Vegas Strip to find the big laser cannon and destroy it, so White Base can fly again without being shot down.
What comes next is a maze. A maze that is traversed through multiple still frame 360 images. Each one represents a crossroads on the Vegas Strip and is surrounded by random and large 3D objects made to look like buildings. Giant Texas hat, giant light bulb, giant bottle and glasses. And there's a really cool restaurant off to the side here called Scabby's. Yeah, everybody likes to eat at Scabby's.
The problem here is that you have no real guidance or direction. Sometimes you'll choose a path that has mines that blow you up. Or other times, you'll run into turrets that shoot and destroy you. It's pure trial and error with a single set path that you must memorize each and every time, starting all the way from the beginning until you get it right.
Be prepared to watch a lot of death animations. It ain't fun.
By the way, at this point, we started to notice that everyone in the game kept calling the player Gundam or Pilot.
Gundam pilot.
It was around here we realized that we're not playing as the character from the anime, but instead just a nameless character. Remember this. We'll get back to it later.
So,
alternate timeline? What? So, wait, shouldn't this be Amuro? Like, it's from the anime, so why not? So weird. And again, I hate the nitpick, but the fact that you get, like, taken out with some gunfire like that? Like, sheesh. Way to build up the Gundam, huh? Anyway.
Gundam makes it through the maze, finds the cannon, gets into more complicated and stupid fights that take far too long to beat, with characters you've never seen before and have no idea who they are. But eventually, you are victorious, and the big cannon is destroyed.
Now comes a huge pivotal moment in the story that will make absolutely no sense at all to the player.
By the time you see this scene, you're around 20 or so minutes into the game's story. Char is going to backstab somebody, leading to events that will cause them to crash their spaceship. Now, this character you've only briefly seen during a cutscene. This is inspired by the anime, but the anime took its time to establish all of these characters and their relationships, making this event far more impactful.
But in this game, oh boy, it doesn't matter. You got no care in the world what Cardboard Face and Captain Jean here are talking about or even fighting about.
All you need to know is that this guy here is about to crash his big spaceship and scream out the wrong name for the organization he's a part of.
For the freedom of Sean!
But what makes this section almost unplayable is that the gameplay here mostly focuses on moving the Gundam around the top of this spaceship as it's crashing.
The camera keeps changing directions and perspectives, also changing the orientation of your movement keys. It happens randomly, making it really, really, really hard to play properly.
And to add to the fun, sometimes the video loading sequences jump in too quickly, cutting out important dialogue.
Like this gem.
Alright, off to
Doesn't look like that ugly bird's gonna change course. Try taking out the cock.
Like that.
Try taking out the cock. Try taking out the cock.
A pit! A cockpit!
Yeah.
That's clearly what they're trying to say, right? They
Oops,
didn't actually mean...
I hope not. That would either hurt or be kind of awkward.
This is where the horse has corralled itself.
Anywho, the Gundam makes it back to White Base and everything seems to be fine. But suddenly, we get this amazing chunk of acting.
Whoa, what in the blazes was that? Did somebody just take a shot at me? Hey, wait, I just saw a red flash. What? Whoa, hey! White Base, Kai, Gundam, I'm under attack.
Oh!
Duke, no! That's Char's mobile suit!
Battle station. We have a hostile intruder in Hangar 1. Gundam, engage immediately.
Excellent.
This experienced pilot, taught to use one of the most advanced mechanical weapons in the military, seemed completely unprepared for being shot at in a war zone. Suddenly, their amazement at a civilian's piloting skills makes way more sense.
Char is back. After double-crossing his own team, he now wants to take you out, the random guy he met 15 minutes ago, because he's super impressed with how you handle a mech. Why is everyone so damn impressed with our piloting skills?
This is probably supposed to be the most epic battle of the game. The one where you take all of the elements you've learned up until this point and utilize them brutally and efficiently to take on Char.
But nah, that's not gonna happen. You get plenty of awkward pauses, random moments where you need to retry again and again. Essentially, we're dealing with probably one of the worst boss battles we've ever experienced in any video game.
You'll feel just as helpless and lost as you did all the way at the start of the game, because you've really gained no experience that could possibly help. And Char? Well, he just keeps taunting you like his mask isn't made from old cereal boxes.
His taunts are confusing because he acts like you're a challenge, but also he doubts your abilities.
Okay, let's fire at him.
Char!
Oops. Oops.
One cannot describe just how slow this fight is. You have to wait for Char to boast about things over and over, but when it ends, you'll want to scream.
See, you don't take out Char. No, you just cut off his arm and he flies away in retreat. This pilot, this great renowned warrior of Jean, is reduced to running away like a baby because he doesn't know how to fight.
These armies are useless. None of these fighters know how to use their mobile suits in any way efficiently, especially against a newbie pilot. It's a joke.
But the biggest joke is about to happen. Back to the story. Char has run away. The Earth Federation soldiers and generals congratulate the player and inform them they need to go to Jaburo. And the video sequence cuts to Char in a spaceship boasting some more.
I look forward to our next encounter.
And then suddenly, the game ends.
The game ends.
On a cliffhanger.
Just around a half hour of gameplay. That is, if you manage to play it without any fails, it ends.
The story is not completed. The narrative is unfinished, but this game is over.
There isn't even a proper video ending. This is what we get.
Congratulations. You have delivered Gundam and White Base from the clutches of Jean.
Zeon again.
Oh, screw you.
You feel so wronged with an ending like this, and it's even worse when you stop for 2 seconds to really think about it.
They went to all the trouble of designing entirely new live-action film sequences for this game and didn't even bother to finish the story. What if they just repurposed the animation from the anime for those scenes?
That would have made sense. The game doesn't utilize any of the anime scenes from the show. There were hours upon hours of animation that already followed this exact plot. Using it would have translated to a video game way easier.
See, all those moments where we need to make a choice in the game, well, they would have been so much better with an animated cartoon pausing. It would look normal, but with live action actors, they had to keep things moving constantly, making the game feel like a cluster of bad gameplay designs.
And with all the money they would have saved by not making live action and CG animated sequences, they could have focused on translating the story properly and working on better gameplay.
We mentioned how the main character is just a nameless pilot, right? Well, in the anime, the main character is Amuro, who isn't just some random guy that jumped into a Gundam. His dad had designed the thing, making him the only person in the universe who could figure out how to control the Gundam so quickly after his father died.
Yeah, all we know is that the guy in the game could drive a car badly from what we saw, and suddenly he was capable of piloting an advanced mechanical war-fighting robot.
The anime's narrative is complex, deep, and something worth exploring, inspiring countless other shows that have continued to be produced to this day.
Gundam 0079, The War for Earth, fails at almost every possible aspect of being a Gundam game and barely makes it as a game, period.
You might be wondering if this is worth your time as a Gundam fan, and we would say no. You might be wondering if this is worth your time if you're an FMV game fan, and again, we would say no.
According to the developers themselves, as stated on their very own website, they claim that they put in the best effort they could while respecting the franchise.
Respect, huh? Hey, remember that sequence at the start when the main character ran into that building and found the Gundam?
Yeah?
Well, here's the respect these developers put into the game. The security cam footage features some random words that they wrote and we didn't make up.
Interesting. Let's clean this up a bit so we can read it.
Look at this dorky guy running into the door. He looks like Jodie Foster on crack. If you had to measure his IQ, 0.0006843 plus or minus blah blah double blah. Hope nobody is reading this crap. Here are some numbers: 2138820684337Y.
I don't think I'd call that respect. I think I'd say
it's just bad. Jeez. If that's respect, I hate to see what they call disrespecting something. Jesus Christ. Hey, that happened. I ain't got nothing else. What the frick? Well, anyway, let me know what you guys think, and until next time, like, subscribe for more. Adios.